Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video we are taking a look at Nvidia stock options analysis. So I'll take you over the options data, tell you where the traders are betting their money, how are they looking to play the market this coming week, are they going long or short, well, calls or puts, where what is their sentiment, and then also provide you my opinion based off of the technicals, what type of calls and puts and options may come to fruition, what might go worthless, what is the window range to trade options for this coming week. And all in all, we'll take a look at, in the holistic picture, the overall trader sentiment from the options analysis lenses. All right, now before going further, if you can also check this video out of mine, guys, on my channel that I did on Nvidia yesterday. This will give you already a head start, where my cursor is here on my screen, already a head start on what to look for in the technicals. How is Nvidia looking like in going in this week, as from the perspective of technicals, and how to trade, right? And that will give you a head start already into this video for the options. And also don't forget to check out this another channel of mine, Junior Trader Dividend Investing channel, where I provide updates for my portfolios that I have been building, public facing portfolio from last 9 weeks now. And you would be amazed to see the profits that we have already garnered on the portfolio. So check this out, and if you're interested, please subscribe here as well. You can find the link to this channel in the description of this video. All right, let's come back here and let's proceed with Nvidia. So guys, very high level technicals, even though we'll just jump into options in just a second, I still just want to provide you a little bit high level technicals, so that if you haven't seen the other video of mine, you have an idea here as well. So it all comes down to this level of 128 and 16 cents and this pivot that Nvidia is right now trying to hold. If we lose this 128 and 16 cents area with this pivot, 20 days moving average, this would come most likely lower into the range of bottom line of 123. And this, once we lose this pivot, actually it puts it in the direction of $117. That's a very possible range that Nvidia can trade all the way down to. Now if we continue to stay above 128 and 13 cents and continue to hold this pivot, get out of the blue box, this thing still is a upside play, but trade it only intraday in my opinion, regardless of what the price action does up or down on these levels. But that's a high level technicals. As I said, if you want to know more in depth, I already pointed you to this video of mine. Check it out over here on my channel. That will give you all in-depth analysis there. All right, now let's go to the options. So green are the calls, red are the puts, black is the last trading day closing price. Okay, so clearly right off the gate from the chart, you can see that we just have a lot of calls here, right? We have a lot of calls sitting. Now we do have puts as well. However, they are not that strong enough compared to the calls. You can see, yes, we have puts at 120, but it's being overshadowed by the calls here, right? So 110 and 115 are the only puts that I'm seeing are outstanding compared to the calls, but that's still too far of a range, right? Trader sentiment is clearly still on the call side. You can see 130, which is very close to where the price is, then 135 and also 140. 140 is still sitting at the highest call volume. But please remember one thing. Just because we have high options interest at these price levels doesn't mean price is going to go to these levels. It only tells you where the traders are betting their money, all right? So it's telling you the sentiment of the options trader and not necessarily what the price action would do. And that's why in this video I'll be putting a confluence together with the price action and what type of options may come to fruition and what might not. And so how about we start off with this 135, because 130, guys, is right around the corner here, right? It's just it can do a blip a little bit to the upside and can just go higher, right? Like, let's go to the hourly interval. 130, I don't think it's worth talking about it, because it can even just retest this 50 hours moving average up here and the previous supply, not previous supply, but previous higher pivot, and it will just make money on the 130 calls, right? It's worth, and it's going to be expensive as well. So 130, I would only suggest the calls if you just want to trade it intraday. That's it. And yeah, you can continue to hold if it gets above 50 hours moving average and continues to stay in an uptrend, right? This one. But yeah, that would be that. But let's talk about, because at this point, I don't think it's worth it to go into 130 for the expiration hold, just because it's going to be very expensive. Your better bet is to just play trade it. And if you get a cheaper price on it, let's say if Nvidia tries to fall, but which will make this call cheaper. And then if it continues to hold though this pivot and blue box and 200, even 200 hours moving average, if Nvidia can hold it and come back up, you can then start to see if this call makes sense. 130, all right, but it's a possible play, but just be careful, see the price on it, how expensive it is. But let's talk about the $135 calls, all right? That's a good balance. So 135 would be somewhere right over here. Again, price has to go above that for you to make any, good money, right? So here's the thing. Technically, even though Nvidia is in the direction of uptrend, technically in the structure, okay, it all comes down to if Nvidia can either close the price around this 50 hours moving average, or better if it can take out this little bit of a previous sell-off at this pivot. That would open up the door to 135. If Nvidia, even if let's say by Tuesday it doesn't go to 135, but if it can stay around or above 50 hours moving average and continues to hold these pivots, it's likely 135 would come in play. Right now, I am not the reason I'm not just saying that, guys, yep, this is very possible in the direction. Usually that's what you would see me when the pattern is all in the uptrend with the pivot forming. The reason I'm not able to say right now that 135 is going to come in fruition, that I'm giving it 50-50, just because there is this lurking supply zone here, recent lurking supply zone, all right? And once we lose this blue box, it's most likely not going to happen. So, and it's 135, like if we go to the daily interval, this is a strong supply zone over here, all right? So that's why getting above it, Nvidia needs to continue the ladder steps, all right? Usually after these sell-offs, with a little bit of a rebound and a sell-off again, things has at least likelihood, 50-50 likelihood to continue lower as well. It being Nvidia, I like to give it a benefit of doubt as well, because it's Nvidia. And only if it will take some ladder steps for this thing, guys, to recapture 135. All right. And if it can do that, if it can continue to hold these steps ladder by ladder, then it can go to 135 and it can continue to that area. All right. Now, talking about 140 though, I would not put my money towards $140 calls. This week, I don't think it's going to happen. This is trying to take out the all-time highs, first of all, and then we have to get out of these two supply zones. I don't think Nvidia right now can do 140 this week. So yeah, we have to take out two supply zones, get in that direction, and I don't think that's very likely for Nvidia. Now, what about the downside? Even though we don't have huge puts sitting on the downside, but are the puts playable, right? What is the range to trade for those puts? Well, first of all, 110 and 115. Let's see if those puts are even worth it, right? So if you have seen this video of mine that I pointed you to in the beginning of this video, that is Nvidia stock analysis 140 or 117, right? There's a reason I said 117. So check that video out. And this is that area down here. So anything below it, I don't think it's worth it to even play the puts this week. Like those until expirations, those are not going to come to fruition. If you want to play the puts based off of just the trading, you have to see then on your broker, what is the price it's going at, how much you need to make to get into the profit on that. You can trade it, but until expiration, it's not going to come worthwhile anything below 117, in my opinion. All right, so this just then makes the case for 115 and 110 completely ridiculous. Anything above that is, let's see what is that range window, right, and how that may come to play. So if I go back to the hourly interval, and guys, we are not very far away from that happening though. Once we lose this pivot, all right, and we lose the level of 108 and 28 and 10 cents or around, that definitely 200 hours moving average is also what we want to lose. It will be somewhere here by then. And if we lose the collectiveness of everything, every put will start to look very beautiful until 117. Now 117 is quite a stretch, so I would say anything until 100, well, in the range of, from 127 down to 120 or 117 is a playable range. It's just that the higher the puts here, the more likely they will come in play. Like $123 until there is most likely will come in play, right? So yes, as we lose those levels, puts will start to look better. And yeah, I still want to, I want to still stay 50-50 likelihood both on the upside or to the downside. But it's just like once we start to lose this level, there is more range that puts can cover than what the calls, in my opinion, would cover, because there's just a lot of supply zone sitting on the call side. So to wrap up this video, to provide you a range that I think, in my opinion, is better playable from the puts on the calls, what is the total range that is playable? And that would be, guys, 136. It can go a little bit higher, but I'm just giving 136 as the top line, and the bottom line could be 117. This is the range from 117 to 136. In my opinion, this is the range Nvidia would stay in. So calls or puts or options, however you are trading, can be traded in this range. But as per the pivots and levels I provided, anything below 127 is worth it to play the puts, and anything above 128, I know there's the range, $1 range I left, yes, because that's indecisive range. And so 128 above, not above, just above that, but also holding 20 hours moving average and this pivot, it's an calls play. Anything below this 200 hours moving average with the break of 128 and 10 cents or so. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, sorry, 128 to 127. This is the range. Below 127 with 200 hours moving average break is definitely the puts game for you guys. All right. So this is, in my opinion, is how to trade the options for this coming week on Nvidia. All right. Anything above 136, even though it's going to be cheaper on the calls, but it's just so much of supply zone is sitting there that by the time Nvidia will try to get above that, even if it stays in the bullish structure, it's just going to exhaust out, in my opinion. Just my opinion, guys. Please do your own thing. Just sharing my opinion. Nothing is financial advice, and just for educational purposes. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in my next videos, guys. Take care. Bye.